Hello, I'm Sarahbyoga and welcome to your Yin Yang Yoga class with me today. The class will be split into two parts. First of all, the sequence will be a lovely Vinyasa flow to heat you up, and then we're going to do two Yin poses to open up the hips in two different directions. A big shout out and thank you to my $10 and up patrons, PT Yao, Sue Gray, Abby, Miriam and Nikki. Anyone who wants to become a $10 or up patron, we've got a lovely event coming up on the 29th of December. Announcements for all of that will be coming soon. Let's begin with our yoga class. So please begin in a bent knee, downward facing dog. So place your hands well, place yourself with care. Tuck your toes under, lift your knees up and push your chest towards your thighs. Now, really straighten your arms and push your hands forward and press your hands flat. You can keep your knees bent here, or to take things a little further, start to stretch the backs of your knees, press your heels down. Then squeeze your thighs, get this feeling of lifting your kneecaps up towards your thighs. And push your hands forward. And then just for a moment here, pick up all of your toes so that you engage the fronts and sides of your shins, the fronts of your ankles. See if you can press your heels down a little bit more, big stretch out, and then press all of your toes back down to the mat. Come forward into plank. You can bring your knees down if you need to. Two more breaths here, so about kind of 10 to 15 seconds, depending on how deeply you breathe. As you exhale, do bring your knees down to the floor if they're not already. Come to this modification of Chaturanga. Pick up your feet, cross your ankles, come down a little bit. Slightly puff up your upper back here and press your tailbone down. Coming into Cobra, bring the tops of your feet to the floor, your thighs and your pubic bone. Keep your chest lifted and light. Press your legs towards each other, squeeze your legs. Back to downward facing dog, either through straight legs or bend your knees through quadruped. Press back. And again, you can always have your knees bent if you need, or if you feel like you need. Now put a little bend into your knees if there's not already one there. Lift your chin, look in between your thumbs, and slowly walk to the top of your mat. Uttanasana, again, bent knees is fine. Lift your chest here for Ardha Uttanasana and then fold forward back into Uttanasana. So you've lengthened the front of the body a little bit. Knit in the lower ribs so that those ribs don't flare out. Then, coming up to standing, bend your knees, reach your arms out to the sides, come all the way up. Urdva Hastasana, hands apart, gaze forward, stand tall. Turn your palms to the side walls and then bring your hands down by your sides. Step your feet together and come into a standing thigh stretch. So bend your right leg, point the toes, reach around for the front of the ankle and stand tall. So plantar flexion here in the foot, a ballet dancer's pointed ankle and toes. See if you can bring that right knee back a little bit more. Then bend the left knee. Let go of your right ankle. Bring your arms out to the sides. Lower your chest. Then stretch your right leg behind you. Move your entire body back and step your foot to the back of the mat and bring your back knee down. Then turn your palms up and bring your arms up overhead. Again, palms don't come together. Keep your arms kind of parallel to each other. See if you can hug your biceps in a little closer to the sides of your head. Then from here, as you inhale, pick up the back knee, then touch down and step back to downward facing dog. Picking up the back knee, if that's too tricky, then don't do it. Just go into downward facing dog. And from wherever you've come from in this down dog, lift up your sitting bones, lift up your tailbone, get a little bit more length in the backs of your legs. Now put a bend in your knees and look forward and either walk or step your right foot, then your left foot to the top of your mat. Inhale, raise your chest, look up. And as you exhale, fold. Come up to standing, reach your arms out to the sides. Again, hands apart, Urdva Hastasana. Reach up a little taller, and as you exhale, turn your palms to the side walls and bring your hands down. Step your feet together. Standing thigh stretch on the left leg. Again, point the toes. Push the hand into the leg into the hand, and then let the hand win. Bring your heel in closer to the center of your buttock. Stretch that left thigh with the knee pointing straight down. Now, bend the right knee. Take your hand away from that left foot. Lower your chest just a little bit, then stretch the left leg back. Use your arms to balance. Then move backwards, move your hips, your chest back, and step to the back of your mat. Bring your back knee down, turn your palms up. Anjanayasana again. Reach up, stretch up. If you need to make any little adjustments here, do. Squeeze your right buttock in. Lift your heart. And then the option is there to keep your knee on the floor or pick up the back knee. It's like you're inflating the leg with your breath as you inhale. Try and put a little bit more lightness into that thigh. Lift it away from the floor. And then slowly touch down. We're going to step the right foot back here. Come into plank. Bring your knees down to the floor. Come all the way down. So don't do chaturanga here. Just come all the way down and bend both of your knees. Point your toes again. Plantar flexion. Toes, tiptoes up towards the ceiling. Reach your arms forward. Palms facing each other. Stay with this, or pick up both of your hands and turn your thumbs around, turn your thumbs down and reach your hands towards your feet, but don't grab your feet. I want to make this a little bit more tricky for you, so you have to use your back muscles. Don't grab the fronts of your ankles. Pick your knees up off the floor, or maybe just bring a little bit more lightness into your thighs and press your knees towards each other. 3, 2, 1, downward facing dog. Tuck your toes under, push the floor away and press back. Put a little bend into your knees and look forwards. Step your left foot, then your right foot, or walk to the top of your mat. Ardha Uttanasana, lift your chest away from the floor. And as you exhale, fold, really drape your belly over your thighs. Coming up to standing, bend your knees, sweep your arms out to the sides. Come all the way up. Turn your palms to the side walls. Bring your hands down by your side and step your feet together again. Tree pose, turn your right knee out. Bring your right foot up. Press it into that left inner thigh, or bring it onto your left calf. This time, reach your arms out to the sides with your palms facing down. The arms that you have when you're in Warrior Two. Push your hands further away from each other, lift your heart. Then, from here, bring your hands onto your hips. Disengage that right foot, turn the knee forwards. Bend the left knee like you did before. Pause for a moment here. Lower your chest. As you did before, stretch the right leg back. Touch down at the back of the mat. Bring your back heel down. Prepare for Warrior Two and bring your arms out. So the left arm goes over the left thigh. The right hand reaches back over that straight back leg. Adjust your feet as needed. Maybe even bend that front knee, that left knee a little bit more. Get that feeling of the back inner thigh lifting up towards the ceiling. Side angle pose. Bend your left elbow, turn the palm up. Turn your back palm up and rainbow it over your head. Stay with this variation with your chest lifted and the ribs lifting up away from the thigh, or bring your left fingertips to the outside of your left ankle. Keep pressing the left buttock in so that the knee points straight over the middle toe of that left foot, and turn your belly and chest up to the ceiling. Look down, downward facing dog. Touch down, pick up your back heel, step back, come forward into plank. Chauranga Dandasana. Now you can bring your knees down like you did before, or keep your legs straight. Pause. Don't drop your pelvis here. Be strong. Then, if you haven't already got your knees down, bring them down, come all the way down. Bend both of your knees again. Reach your arms forward. Turn your thumbs down. Breaststroke your arms back. Stay with this with your thighs on the floor, Or as we did before, as you offered before, pick up your knees, squeeze your legs towards each other. And again, just reach your hands towards your feet. But this time you're going to change your feet. Show the soles of your feet to the ceiling. 3, come up maybe a little higher. 2, with your chest and your thighs. 1. Bring your hands by your ribs. Tuck your toes under. Push up to plank. Or just go through hands and knees back to downward facing dog. I'm losing my breath here. Are you? Put a little bend into your knees and look forwards. Step your right foot forward, then your left. As you inhale, raise your chest, look up for Ardha Uttanasana. Bend your knees if you need to, and as you exhale, fold to Uttanasana. Coming up to standing, reach your arms out to the sides. Reach up. And then bring your hands onto your hips, step your feet together. Tree pose with your left leg. So turn the left knee out. Bring the left foot up to the right inner thigh, or you can bring it onto your calf. You can even keep the toes on the floor. Reach your warrior 2 arms out. Soften your shoulders and stretch your arms. Then from here, try and keep the left foot high. Take the left foot away from the right thigh, turn the knee forwards. You can keep your arms like this or bring your hands onto your hips. Lower your chest. Now with control, reach that back foot back and then move your entire body towards the back of the mat. Touch down. Bring your back knee, come to warrior 2. Bring your back heel down. Bring the right arm forward, the left arm back. Arrange your pose. You might need to shuffle your feet around a little bit. Virabadrasana 2. Straighten your back leg. Parsvakonasana, side angle pose. Bend the right elbow, turn the back palm up, rainbow it over, and then you have the option to take things further. Bring your fingertips to the floor and reach that left arm over your ear. Keep moving your right knee towards your right arm. So make sure you've got space. You haven't brought your right hand too close to your heel if your hand's on the floor. Downward facing dog. Bring your hand down, pick up the back heel, step back. Final back bend. Move your chest forward. Bring your knees down. Chauranga Dandasana. Pick up your feet, cross your ankles, come part way down. Bring everything down. Curl up into Cobra. Come halfway down. Bend your knees. Reach your arms forward. Breaststroke again. Option to keep your hands like this or pick up your hands, turn your thumbs down and reach around. Now, for this one, push your heels up towards the ceiling, so a dorsiflexion. Show the soles of your feet to the ceiling, separate your toes. Stay with this, or bring your heels in closer and reach around with both of your hands. Try and do this at the same time with both of your hands. Then pick up both of your thighs, squeeze your knees towards each other. You can keep your thighs on the floor, you don't have to pick them up. And then option to take things further if your thighs are up. Push your feet to the back of the room and lift your chest. Squeeze your arms. Now don't just rely on your arms here. Lift your thighs, lift your chest. 3, 2, 1. Downward facing dog. Try and keep your breathing smooth as you press back. Now, yin. Let's move into our yin poses. So from here, bring your right knee behind your right wrist. Bring your back knee down to the floor. Back toenails on the floor. Now, from here, you can put a block underneath your right buttock or a rolled up blanket on the block or just the blanket, so that when you lower your chest and rest your forehead on your fists, you feel like your sacrum, your lower back, is parallel to the floor or parallel to the ceiling. So you've got some support here underneath your right sitting bone. You can walk your left leg a little bit out to the left and then relax. So up until this point, you've engaged a lot of muscles. There's been a lot of very conscious pressing in, reaching long, ambitious poses. Now, in yin, I want you to try and let go. If you don't like your hands being fists, then you can let your palms rest to the floor and rest your forehead on the back of one of your hands or on a blanket. Not such a long hold here, about another minute. Try and melt and rest and relax as much as you can. Steady your breathing. Soften and melt, including around your shoulders, all around your neck, your jaw, around your mouth and your eyes. And let your circulatory system just soften. The blood, the breath, the heart, the lungs, all these systems that work together. Let it all soften. There's 3 to 5 more breaths here, and then we'll change sides. But be with this. Try and lie evenly on the left and the right side. You might find yourself easing more to the left here. Try and be symmetrical. And then coming to the other side, we're going to go to downward facing dog, but very slowly. So lift your head. Push your hands into the floor, bring your hands by your sides. Bring your left foot back onto the mat if it's moved to the left and tuck those toes under. And then bring your entire right leg back. Stretch out in a symmetrical pose here. If you feel that you want to move your hips a little to the left and the right, then do. Otherwise, just be still. An easy down dog. Don't be too ambitious here. Just squeeze your legs gently and lengthen, particularly the back of the right leg. Push the right heel down, just gently and slowly. Then move your prop over to the left side of the mat so that you can come into sleeping swan on the other side. So bring your left knee behind your left wrist, bring your back knee down, move your back foot a little out to the right. And again, you're looking for symmetry here and support. So bring your blanket or your block, ideally a blanket, so there's some softness underneath the right sitting bone. Further in will give you more support, a little further out will give you a little less. Bring the other hand on top, rest your head. Try and align your elbows reasonably symmetrically as well. You don't have one higher than the other. And find your depth and be still. Not rigid, just still and soft. Again, about a minute and a half, 2 minutes here. Having already done a yin pose on the other side, you will probably find that your breathing now is relatively calm. So you don't have to think about that so much anymore. So with this still, calm breathing, see if you can put a little bit more length and breadth into each breath. Breathe steadily and slowly into the base of both lungs and into the sides of your rib cage, I should say, the left and the right side. But filling up your lungs evenly, the depth, the breadth to the sides and to the top as well. Into the back of your heart, into the front of your chest. Like you're evenly filling the whole inner surface areas of both the left and the right lungs. And as you exhale, as if you were exhaling through a straw, make each exhalation long and smooth as the inhalations. Not so long that you feel uncomfortable.
Just long enough to feel like there's a lovely balance between each inhale and exhale. They're smooth and pretty much equally paced. Coming out of this, as you inhale, lift your head, go back to downward facing dog. And we'll come into our second yin pose. A little bit of strength here, a bit of yang is needed to bring energy back into your muscles, push back, and again, notice how you feel, particularly in that left side. Maybe push the left heel down, just coax it a little more down to lengthen the back of the leg a touch more, evenly in the inner thigh, the backs of the hamstrings. Now, put a little bend in your knees and look forward, and move your right hand a little closer to the left. Coming into dragon pose, step your right foot to the outside of your right hand and bring your left knee down to the floor. Now your block is here for you to put your hands on if you need to, and I want you to have your right arm touching the right inner thigh gently, and the right leg can move a little out to the right if you need. But what I don't want for this version is for you to not bring your hands over way to the left, that your hands are kind of inside the right foot. Bring the back toenails to the floor. Now the block is there if you want it. If you don't want it, you can move it away. Taking things a little deeper, bring your hands to the floor. You're going to be here for about a minute and a half more. If you're familiar with this pose and you feel like the right hip can take the compression and the front of the left hip can be happy with more opening, possibly bring your left elbow either onto the block for a little more lift and support, or the left elbow to the floor. And if that feels okay and manageable for another minute, just stay with this, or possibly even further, bring the right elbow to the floor. But not so much that the right knee comes in towards your body and you move your body all the way over to the left. I want you to feel like there's a symmetry, an equal holding with the left and the right legs. Move your chest forwards towards your right middle finger. And if you've done this and you think, oh, this is not sustainable for another 45 seconds or so, that feels like too long, then do feel free to bring your right hand back to the floor and even your left hand so that your arms are straight. Whatever is doable for you. Remember, you're not being graded here, you're not being judged. Don't let yourself judge or grade yourself either. Just be with what is manageable for your hips today. About 20 more seconds, not long. Come back to that easy cadence of full lungs as you inhale and slowly emptying your lungs as you exhale. Try and release your muscles wherever you can. Let go of any tension that might be coming into your body at any place. And let the weight of your head drop, or you can even turn your head a little to the left and the right. Try and have the sole of the right foot pretty much placed on the floor evenly. So if you find that the inner foot is lifting, just gently press it down so that the knee stays straight up for this version of the pose. Today, there are many different ways of doing this. Okay, downward facing dog to transition to the other side. Slowly tuck your back toes under, pick up the back knee. You might find it takes a little bit of coaxing for the right leg to go back. Bring your right hand out wide to the right and the left hand. Put a bit of breadth into this pose. Wide hands, wide feet. Push back. A little bit of strength in the legs and the arms. Just to put a bit of heat and yang contrast. If you want to move your hips over to the left and then the right slowly, be my guest. If you want to be still, it's also fine. If you are moving your hips out to the left and the right, then do it a couple of times and then come back to center. Then raise your chin, look at your left hand and move it towards the right hand and step your left hand, so your left foot to the outside of the left hand. Bring your back knee down, and again you've got the block here to put both of your hands on inside that left heel. Bring the back toenails down, the right toenails down. 2 minutes here. If you don't need the block, take it away. If you want to bring your right elbow down, and you can still keep the integrity of the pose, the left knee pretty much in place, the left foot pressing down completely in the sole, then you can bring the left elbow down. But if you find that that's not going to be doable for another minute and a half, then by all means bring your hands back. I'm going to do this. You can put your hands back onto the block too if you want. And again, just ease here. If you can move your pelvis forward towards your fingertips and your toe tips, which are all pretty much pointing straight ahead here, then do. If you feel like you need to bring it back a little bit, then do. Just the duration of time here is pulling apart the hip joints, the front of that left thigh, that compression that's happening in the left hip. Let that happen to an uncomfortable position, but not a painful position. So if it's too much, then move your pelvis back towards your back foot. If you want to bend your elbows a little bit here to lower your chest, both sides of the chest towards the floor, then you can do that. But it takes a little bit more yang, a little bit more strength in the arms to sustain that. So you can bring the left elbow onto the block, the right elbow onto the block if you want. But whatever you've got now, just about another half minute. Pretty much keep it here. Be still. Keep your breathing steady, calm, and expansive. Each inhale filling your lungs, and each inhale not completely emptying your lungs, but slow and steady. About 2 or 3 more breaths here. And slowly make your way into downward facing dog. So you can move your pelvis back here, tuck your back toes under, bring the right hand maybe a little bit more out to the right, lean over to that, and then step your left leg back. Take your time. You've just been in an extreme position for those big joints, all the deep tissues, the fascia, connective tissues. I've been in quite an extreme position for a long time, so no hurry here. And again, whatever you want to do in down dog, do it. You can be still, you can move your hips to the left and the right. If you want, you can slowly pedal your heels, bend one knee, bring the other heel towards the floor. People often do this really quickly. I want you to do it very kind of elephant style, Ganesh style. Take your time, slow and heavy, more earth-like. And then when you've finished with the second side, whether that's swinging your hips out or bending your knees, bend both of your knees, bring them to the floor and come into Savasana. Just 1 minute here, so come in. Not quickly, but come in without any fuss or other movement. Having said that, if you need to pull out your ponytail, do, or reach around for a pillow, do that. You can keep your knees bent, or you can lengthen your legs long down the mat. If your block or water bottle or anything is in the way, push it to the side so that your hands and feet are just surrounded by air as they rest on the floor. 1 minute in silence here. Do this. Don't be tempted to go off and do something else. Just rest. Let your body absorb your practice. Let an evenness of prana distribute itself around your body. Now you can stay here even longer if you want. Just press the pause button or close your laptop completely. Or, coming out of Savasana, bend your knees one leg at a time. Bring the soles of your feet to the floor. Then roll to your right side, the side of action, the yang side. Keep your eyes closed, but nevertheless you're turning your body to face the next event of your day. But before you move any further, just take stock here and notice how you feel, how the prana is moving around your body. Hopefully you're feeling even, and there's a calmness and ease in your body. And if there isn't, that's okay. Just be with what is. Then press down with your left hand, then your right hand to push yourself up, to sit tall. Close your eyes. Bring your hands into Anjali Mudra. Press the soft bases of your thumbs into the in the base of your heart. And then turn your fingertips slightly away from you. Now lower your chin. Release your hands, bring your palms onto your thighs. Lift your chin. Open your eyes. Namaste. Thank you so much for practicing with me. I hope that the rest of your day goes smoothly and calmly. Please do let me know how that went in the comments box. Do give this a thumbs up and remember to subscribe. Thank you. Take care.